Yeah, so that side one wasn't on.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. Sorry about that.
cool, man. All right, let's check this out. Let me do something here. All right, guys, give me a second. Top of the swish, that's 6. Am I also at the top? Okie dokie. Let's see what's going on out here. Probably 45. The line's accelerating east now. So probably about 45 minutes. Yeah, after that. Why, what's up?
Well, I wanted to give Kay a heads up, and also Rocket's been covering the baseball game that supposedly starts dropping at 7. I know, you told him that, but yeah, looks like
It looked pretty dicey.
So
Yeah.
what time's that game starting?
7 in Joplin.
Oh, okay. No, it's not going to happen. All right, guys, let's see here. All right, guys, we have severe weather rolling through, so severe thunderstorm watches in effect until, well, 7 p.m. in our northern counties. And then southern counties go all the way until midnight, but those won't last quite that long. But we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings, which are already in effect across the region. So let's take a look. We got severe thunderstorm warnings pretty much all of southeastern Kansas. We're looking at Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Labette, Neosho, Allen, Woodson, Wilson, Montgomery, Chautauqua, Elkin, a little sliver of Greenwood County. And these are pretty intense storms. They have what we call a bow echo on it. So the line is kind of bowing out, kind of like a bow and arrow. So it's that curvature on the front end. And with it, we are seeing winds that are gusting now 70 miles per hour. Chanute had a wind gust of 69 miles per hour. So you can see this line is accelerating eastward. Now, once it rolls through, your severe threat is done, but you are going to have showers and thunderstorms. Plus, we are going to get, let's see here. Man, there's a report near 85 measured west of Yates Center on that bow. So these are really intense winds. They're going to push in pretty quick. The line's moving 55 upwards to 60. So they're going to be in Pittsburgh here in about 30 to 45 minutes and then drive into Joplin here probably in about an hour or so. So these are going to be pretty intense as they work through. So let's go ahead and zoom in and we'll take a look at this bow. So at least things are starting to let up a little bit in Yates Center, but on this front edge, this is where we get the very intense wind. So Iola, Humboldt, you guys are getting hammered right now. Moran, Elsmore, your wind should really be picking up. Fort Scott, you're next in line. Here in about 30 minutes, you will start to get those very gusty winds across the region. Let's go a little bit farther toward the south. So we're looking at Neosho County, so where Erie is. The wind's still kind of in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range, but there's going to be segments along this bow that we get 75, maybe pushing 80 miles per hour. So that is going to do some damage for tree limbs, maybe even take down some power lines as this continues to work through. Let's go a little bit farther south. Here's Parsons, Independence, right on your doorstep. The winds are going to be picking up. Coffeyville, you still got about 20 or 30 minutes, but if we look downstream, You can see Oswego, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Girard, Fort Scott, all moving in about the next 45 minutes to an hour. So that is really going to start to pick up. Now, Joplin, you guys are probably about an hour away. You can even see some thunderstorms, which are kind of getting going in northwest Arkansas. So one little guy in southern parts of McDonald County down toward Bella Vista and right on top of Beaver Lake. But, of course, the most intense line is this line that is pushing off toward the east. Let me look at latest model here. And I got Chloe here too.
Howdy, y'all.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I want to do. I'm going to pump this level up. There we go. That's good.
At least we're getting a lot of good rain with this.
Yeah, everybody's going to get some pretty intense rain, which is something we need. Let's see. Bourbon County, once these move in toward Fort Scott, northern Crawford counties, new warning winds upwards of 80 miles per hour. So these are, they're going to be booking. So very intense winds as these start to push in. Let's see. Put this on the KOAM app too. I'm working and talking at the same time. Let's see here. But these are going to be intense storms as these roll through. It's pushing 80 miles an hour. That's crazy. And of course, we're going to be live at 6 here shortly. Okay, so let's go back. Let's take a look at these babies. We'll jump back here. All right, you can see the entire viewing area is under severe thunderstorm watch. These again are for winds which are pushing 80 miles per hour, so very intense. Bow echo. Bow echo, we call it because it bows out. It looks like a bow and arrow. So that front curvature part of the storm is where we get those winds in that 70 to 80 mile per hour range. And that's what we're going to see. So this is going to produce a lot of tree limbs down, could even take down some power lines. And we have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings across the region. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings right now: Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Labette, Neosho, Allen, Woodson, Wilson, Montgomery, Chautauqua, Elk, and even a little sliver of Greenwood County. And these are going to produce severe thunderstorm warnings all the way through. This is a pretty intense line, and you can see it's really picking up steam now. It's moving east, southeast at a pretty good clip, anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour. Let's see. These, always with a bow echo, there's a very minimal tornado threat, but these are mainly just high wind. We don't have a lot of shear, which is good, and shear is what makes the atmosphere rotate. And the history of these storms, we haven't seen much in the way of tornadic activity, but these winds, if we get winds over 70, a lot of towns do fire off the sirens. I know Joplin does, or at least has in the past, so we got to watch that, because we are getting winds gusting near 80 miles per hour. So don't be surprised if some of these towns in southeastern Kansas, or once these get into Missouri, do actually fire off a couple of the sirens. But I haven't heard of anything like that. All right, so these are going to be pushing into western parts of Bourbon County here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then eventually Crawford County, so Girard, Pittsburgh. This is pushing in very quickly. So this is going to be here by a short, well, probably about 6:15, 6:20. You can see right now, Moran, Ellsmore, Humboldt getting hammered. On the radar here, where you see the reds and even kind of the magenta, that's where we are picking up some hail and the very, very heavy amounts of rain. But we haven't had much in the way of big hail with these storms, so that's good. It's just been mainly wind makers. Let's go to Neosho County, we're looking at Erie, so your rain really picking up. Gust front pushing through from Stark to Erie over toward Thayer. Chanute, you're getting hammered at this point in time. Neodesha, Fredonia, all the way back toward Elk City. Independence, Montgomery County, Cherryvale. This is right on your doorstep, but it looks like the highest winds are kind of right ahead of the bow. So we're kind of looking, I'm going to use a front, just kind of right in here. This is where the highest of the winds are really tracking. So they're tracking into Bourbon and also Crawford County. Pretty quickly here. So let's, it's Friday evening. A lot of people are heading to the lake. Stockton Lake, you're going to get these storms here in about 2.5 hours. If you're heading down to Table Rock, you won't get these storms until about 8:30, 9 p.m. Beaver Lake already getting some pop-up storms, but this main line's not going to get in until 8:30, 9 p.m. Grand Lake, still about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So the major lakes, everybody's going to get the showers and thunderstorms. Elk River, McDonald County, a lot of people camp down there. We do have some thunderstorms just east of Pineville, but this line will drive in about 2 hours. So if you are camping, make sure you buckle things down. Severe thunderstorm warnings now out in western parts of Vernon County and then western parts of Barton County due to the extreme winds that we are seeing with this line. Caleb, tornado threat is low, but these winds are pretty much equivalent to a weak tornado. So that's something we got to watch. So Luna, like I was just saying, Grand Lake, Grove, Oklahoma area, you guys are going to get these storms in an hour and a half, 2 hours. The strongest winds at this point in time are staying north of you, but we got to see what this whole line does. Look, you can see it stretching all the way south of Wichita. We're getting, even back south of Wichita, we're still getting winds 60 to 70, but we're pushing 80 once you get into southeastern Kansas. So that's what we want to keep our eyes on. Let me check on the latest. Let's see. Okay. So nothing new, just winds 70 to 80 miles per hour, which is crazy. And then obviously the weaker winds are on the kind of the south side of this bow. So Independence, Coffeyville, you won't get as intense winds as Crawford County and Bourbon County will get. Most likely Vernon and also Barton County. So Pittsburgh, Lamar, Nevada, Fort Scott, those are going to be the areas that really get some very intense winds. And then still severe level winds, Parsons, Independence, Coffeyville, Oswego, Columbus. But if this bow continues in the same direction as it is, it will start to turn a little bit more southeast. That would take the strongest winds kind of through Lamar and over toward Mount Vernon and stay just north of the Joplin metro. But everybody's going to get pretty intense thunderstorms for us tonight. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning within these storms. Behind it, things getting better in Yates Center. You guys still have some moderate rain over toward Eureka, moderate rain. Fredonia, you're looking a little bit better. And then also Chautauqua County, you guys are still getting some pretty intense rain across the region. And again, main threat here is going to be very high winds, but anything over 60 miles per hour is severe level winds and of course can cause some damage. But once you push 70 to 80, that's really intense. That's a weak tornado type wind. And of course, these are straight line winds, not rotating winds. But at least we're not seeing much in the way of hail. At least we've gotten some really good rains across southeastern Kansas where the drought has been very intense over the past, year now. We've had a very intense drought. But you can see all the severe thunderstorm warnings. We back up here. I mean, just a slew of them. We had an intense storm go through Kansas City earlier, and that little echo is now kind of heading toward the Lake of the Ozarks. Look at these warnings. They go all the way back through northern parts of Oklahoma. So all of southeastern Kansas pretty much under a severe thunderstorm warning for intense winds, anywhere from 60 upwards to 80 miles per hour. And this has turned just looking at the motion, these have turned just a hair southeast. So, yeah, Pittsburgh to Fort Scott. This is getting really close to your doorstep. as it pushes into Bourbon and also Crawford counties. Push it a little bit farther east. And then over toward Nevada, Sheldon, Lamar, you guys are on deck for these severe thunderstorm warnings. Winds are pushing, we're getting tons of reports of 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, so those are super intense. Let me look through a few of these comments here. Patricia and Neosho, you still got hour and a half, 2 hours before they get in there. Joplin, about an hour. Let's see, can we see the storm yet on the tower cam? I can see the tops of the storms, but I can't see any lightning or anything like that. Galena, also about an hour. Anywhere in the Joplin metro is about an hour away, maybe an hour and 15 minutes before they get in. We did not put storm chasers out there in this. You know, we never talked about it today, and I don't know if anybody wanted to chase today because it's a Friday, so we did not do it. I kind of wish we would have, but we didn't do it today. We're going to, though. Huh?
I said one of these days.
One of these days. I mean, today would have been a good day to chase, but yeah, I don't know. We just didn't really talk about it. We should have. KOM's had a rough week because we had a little power problem a couple days ago. So a lot of people here have been working 50, 60, 70 hours this week. All right, let's take a little tour here again. The leading edge of these storms now getting into western parts of Bourbon County. And that gust front line is right through here. So about ready to push into Parsons, right on the county line of Bourbon, Allen, and Neosho counties in southeastern Kansas. And then these are all going to plow east and southeast. So if I zoom out a little bit, here's the kind of the front edge of the bow working right into Crawford County. And that's going to work right toward Pittsburgh. And it may really smack possibly the north side of the metro if it continues this southeastern trend. Everybody's going to get thunderstorms though. So everybody's going to get good rains anywhere from half an inch to an inch, which we definitely need. Let's see. Cassville, so Table Rock Lake area, you guys are still 2.5 hours out. We'll see how fast this line accelerates. Usually when we get these bow echoes, they like to pick up speed, and that's what they're going to start to do. So 2.5 hours. Like I said, a lot of people are camping Table Rock, Beaver, Stockton, down at Elk Creek, Grand Lake, and all those areas are going to get these thunderstorms through the evening. So you just want to kind of, you know, secure everything. Melanie, Fort Scott, this is about ready to move in. Winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. Pat, let's see, a lot of Kansas City is without power now. Yeah, I got some video from another meteorologist earlier, and it was pretty intense, the winds and the flooding that they got out there. And I know they were getting winds 70 to 80. Andrew, Pittsburgh, Cherokee, I mean, we're in the next 30 minutes before it gets in to the Pittsburgh area. Columbus, you're still 30 to 45 minutes away. But again, we're getting winds, especially in this sector, from Iola, Chanute, Erie to Parsons, over toward Fort Scott, eventually Girard and Pittsburgh, are getting winds in that 70 to 80 mile per hour range. So these are intense little guys, which are, well, I guess big guys, big boys, which are pushing through. And eventually it's going to get over toward Nevada, Sheldon, and also Lamar. Of course, we're streaming. We got 6 o'clock news, which starts here in about 9 minutes, but I'll keep the stream going, so we'll just kind of roll through. So we'll go TV and streaming at the same time. Alex, we'll just kind of have to see how these storms continue, but I think the strongest winds will probably stay north of Neosho, but we'll see how these progress as we go through the rest of the evening. Let me get some updates. Thank you, Darryl. Top of the swish. Okie dokie. Just give me a heads up. We're what, about 7 minutes out? 6 minutes? Okay, cool. Let's see, new severe thunderstorm warning now into Oklahoma. So northern parts of Ottawa County, northern parts Craig County, northern parts of Nowata County, northern parts of Washington County. So let's go back. Let's look at all these warnings. These are the most warnings I've seen in a long time. Vernon County, Barton County, Bourbon County, Crawford County, Cherokee County, Ottawa County, Craig County, Nowata County, Washington County, Lebec County, Neosho County, Allen County, Wilson County, Montgomery County, Elk County, Chautauqua County, all under severe thunderstorm warnings. My mic is on. Doug testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10. Cool. So extreme bow echo. So this storm is very similar to, I'm sure you guys remember a few years ago, we had the duck boat incident in Branson, and that happened right around July 4th. But this is a very similar storm. It's producing those type of winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour. So Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, you guys are only about 10 to 15 minutes away, and it's going to be intense as it comes in. Pittsburgh, Girard, Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, Jasper, Carthage, you're online next. Columbus, Oswego, Parsons, you are getting into it right now. I'm glancing through some of you guys' comments too, but I am going to have to do the news here, so I'm going to keep it streaming, but I'm going to kind of switch it over to kind of more of the broadcast, but we're going to stream and I'll go back and forth and talk when I can. I'll obviously got to allow Dow to talk when he wants to do his news stories, because Dow's got to have his FaceTime too. Let's see here. Let's switch this to... Okay. But you can see this bow echo. I mean, this thing is pretty intense, and we're getting this thing moving now 55 to 60 miles per hour. So it's really accelerating as it continues to push off toward the south and to the east. Let me change up a few graphics here, because I got to, let's see, severe, that, we're going to do that. Do that graphic, and that graphic. I'm setting these graphics up for the top of the 6, so that's why I'm changing a few things up. And then I'll get back to some of you guys' comments here. Okay. It is really booking. It is booking.
2 minutes out from the previews.
2 minutes out? Cool.
From the previews.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, let's look through some of the comments. Chances for tornadoes. Anytime we have severe weather, you always have a chance for a tornado. We just don't have much shear. Shear is what we need for tornadoes. That is, in a sense, wind rotating. So these are mainly straight line wind guys. We're not even seeing that big of hail either, which is good, but the winds are very intense. The winds are equivalent to a weak tornado, but of course they are straight line winds. Everybody should get some rain. Parsons, this is working in right now. So Parsons, Tyler, you got it for the next 20 minutes. Once we get into Missouri, so like Golden City, Carthage, Neosho, we got to just see how this line holds together and exactly where the strongest part of the bow goes. And that will tell us where those strongest winds are. But I'm going to keep this thing streaming. We'll probably be going for a few hours, so I'll keep you updated. But I am going to switch it over here shortly to the TV feed. You'll still be on here, still streaming, but you'll see what people see on TV, and then I'll switch it back when I'm not on air.
30 for the previews, and you're at the top of the switch.
Gotcha.
Some very strong storms in the area, plus the latest on a dispute between the city of Neosho and Newton County over the TIF sales tax payments. KOIM News at 6 is next.
Dear road rivals, cheer up, want to be twinsies? If you try harder, maybe you can catch up. Later, Toyota.
Get 3.99% APR for up to 48 months on 5 of your favorite Toyota models. Toyota. Let's go places.
The dessert dilemma: ice cream or cookies? At Brahms, we say both. Introducing Brahms new Cookie Sundaes, made with Brahms signature ice creams and freshly baked cookies. Triple chocolate almond with mint chocolate chip ice cream. Peanut butter chocolate chunk with fudge. M&M with chocolate and vanilla ice cream. And oatmeal raisin with caramel. At Brahms, ice cream and cookies just make sense.
Dear road rivals, cheer up, want to be twinsies? If you try harder, maybe you can catch up. Later, Toyota.
Get 3.99% APR for up to 48 months on 5 of your favorite Toyota models. Toyota. Let's go places.
Now at 6, we are tracking very intense severe storms which are working through the region. I'm going to have those details.
Plus, the city of Neosho says Newton County is still not paying the city the money it owes from a TIF sales tax. And
The Adventures of Pippi Longstocking is celebrating 35 years right here at Cruisapalooza. I'm Anthony Saviello with The Exclusive.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
we're tracking some intense storms now moving through the area. This is KOIM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with the very latest.
Yeah, we have a fairly high threat for severe weather, which is rolling through at this point in time. This is a level 3 out of 5 across the region. This is going to last until about 10 p.m. You can see all these numerous severe thunderstorm warnings that we have working into southwestern Missouri. Everybody's under a severe thunderstorm watch, but pretty much all of southeastern Kansas is seeing severe thunderstorm warnings at this point in time. Look at this intense line that is working through. This is what we call a bow echo. It kind of bows out. It looks like a bow and arrow. And on that leading edge, that is where we get the most intense winds. So these are pushing into Bourbon County, Crawford County, and eventually Cherokee County as we work through about the next 10 to 15 minutes, already working into western parts of Bourbon County. So we are kind of looking from Fort Scott down to Girard over toward Pittsburgh. Things are going to get really nasty. Winds are gusting 70, pushing 80. So that is the strength of a weak tornado. And we're going to continue to watch these as they track toward the metro of Joplin. Of course, I'm going to have the latest on all that here in just a bit.
Wow, we'll catch you in a few. Thanks, Doug. The city of Neosho says Newton County is still not paying the city the money it owes from a TIF sales tax. The city and county have been in a dispute over that tax money dating back to 2021 when the city sued the county. In April of this year, a judge ruled in favor of the city, saying the county needed to restart payments. Well, now the county says it's waiting on paperwork from the city to send the payments. The city says that's just another excuse. In November, a judge will determine how much money, including interest, the county must pay to the city of Neosho. The Veterans Health Care System of the Ozarks is raising awareness about an expansion of benefits for
Act. The new law adds health care benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. The VA will host an outreach event tomorrow in Joplin to help veterans sign up for the PACT Act. It'll run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Joplin VA Fund. Welcome to Cruisapalooza in Webb City. It features multiple events such as a TikTok meet and greet, a vintage car show, karaoke band, various live performances. It also has a red, white, and brew tent. Multiple vendors also attend Cruisapalooza, and some vendors even bring their furry friends.
What's up?
Cruisapalooza continues tomorrow until 10
Intense.
p.m. Most of the proceeds go toward mental health for veterans. Cruisapalooza also had a very special guest today. KOIM's Anthony Saviello has one.
All right, guys, so we're still dealing with this bow echo, which is pushing into Bourbon County. Right now, we're still getting winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. So Uniontown down to Pawnee, Fort Scott, your winds are really going to start picking up here over the next 10 to 15 minutes, right on the doorstep of Girard, Pittsburgh. You guys need to buckle down. This thing is really going to push in quickly. This whole bow is now accelerating southeast nearly 60 miles per hour, and we're getting winds 70 to 80 mile per hour, which is a weak tornado that has an EF0 to almost an EF1 tornado. Of course, straight line winds. Very intense winds, Oswego, Columbus, Coffeyville's getting a big burst of winds. And look at these storms that continue all the way back into Elk and Chautauqua counties. I'm trying to kind of talk when Dow's not talking. These are all going to be in the metro of Joplin here right around 7 p.m. You laughing at the story or me?
Good for you, and be getting to meet Vicki in person. Those who attended today were also able to take photos, ask questions, and buy some lunch. With temperatures in the 90s today, it can be kind of hard to enjoy the heat out there. However, that's not stopping Food Truck Friday in Carthage. A monthly event took place today in Central Park, and local vendors discussed the struggles of owning a food truck in the summer heat. Some say the temperature makes sales unpredictable. Others say it makes the sales drop. The next Food Truck Friday is going to be August 11th at Central Park. Coming up, drivers on I-44 in central Missouri got a scare when the road started buckling under the intense heat. Plus, authorities in Missouri investigated plane crash that left 2 people dead and another injured.
All right, guys, I'm still here with you. So we're in the 6 o'clock newscast, and due to that, when Dow's reading a story, I can't talk, so that's why we have gaps in sound here. But I'll do my full weather here in about 5 or 6 minutes, but I can talk during commercial breaks. We do have a lot of reports of trees down, limbs, especially near Chanute, where they had over an 80 mile per hour wind gust. So we are getting some damage across the region. This intense bow echo, it looks like a bow and arrow bowing out, is producing winds 70 upwards to 80 miles per hour. So very intense winds right through the heart of Bourbon County. It's pushed into Girard at this time. We have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Fort Scott, this is right on your doorstep. So here in about the next 5 minutes, things are going to get very salty. We're going to go south along 69 Pittsburgh. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, things are really going to pick up across Pittsburgh. Dow, just holler at me when you're on your standby. Cherokee County, Columbus, Oswego, Chautauqua, Baxter, Galena, you guys still have about 30 minutes before all this starts to push in, and then you can see the warnings extend into northern Ottawa County, Craig County, Washington County. So this is a very intense line that is pushing off toward the east. So during this next break here, I'll probably switch it to the, so you guys see what's going on. 1 minute, cool. Going on in the newscast. So there is going to be a gap of me not talking for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll do my full weather segment. So I'm running a stream and I'm doing the newscast simultaneously. A couple little questions here. One guy said trees are down Chanute. The main threat, Austin, with the storm is very strong winds, 70 to 80 miles per hour, which is super intense. Let's see here. A lot of people are saying limbs down. And again, this is going to push right through the metro. Joplin, you still have about an hour to go. All right, I'm going to switch this over to the newscast until weather starts here shortly, and then I'll be back.
Authorities say 2 people are dead after a small plane crashed in a wooded area near the Lake of the Ozarks. 3 people were on board. 22-year-old Hayden Richhart and 19-year-old Evan Vandiver were killed. The other person on board was seriously injured. Authorities are still investigating the cause of that crash. The scorching summer heat caused quite a scare for drivers in Doolittle, Missouri. The roads buckled and caused several accidents. Reporter Lauren Schwenker has that story.
And it sent us flying in the air, and then we came down and crashed like pretty hard on the ground.
Hannah Helton and her friends' lives flashed before their eyes Tuesday afternoon.
When we were in the air, I'm not really sure how high we flew or anything, but it felt pretty high to us.
While westbound on I-44 near Doolittle, their car hit what investigators call a major blow-up in the road.
We didn't really know what was happening until we hit the ground. And honestly, all of us thought the windows had shattered once it hit because all of the stuff flew.
Doolittle firefighters and the Highway Patrol responded to the incident. Investigators say no one got seriously hurt. Both westbound lanes are now back open. But MoDOT crews only did a quick fix to get the traffic flowing again.
We did a temporary repair last night. It's open to traffic now. We've got a contractor who's going to come in and do a more permanent repair here of next week.
Fear not, got you. Who are you? Who are you? I'm your fairy hotel mother.
What is happening?
I'm good about. Choice Hotels is
Not much hail in these, but we've had a lot of downed tree reports, so limbs and even some power outages across the area. All right, guys, so next I'm doing my the full weather block, so I'm going to have that going here in about minute 30 or so. So I'm going to go over to the wall and knock that baby out.
Hey, control room, I don't think we have a board spot.
But again, guys, we are still seeing winds pushing 70 to 80 miles per hour. Look at all the severe thunderstorm warnings. Vernon, Barton, give me a heads up when I'm supposed to start the newscast, Mr. Quick. Vernon, Barton, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Ottawa, Craig, Nowata, Washington, Chautauqua, Elk, Montgomery, Labette, Neosho, Wilson counties. All righty, thank you. Okay. 1 minute.
30.
Thank you, 30. That's Elisa Olagus. Where's that?
15.
KOM Air.
Demolition. Call now, 417-436-3800 or visit us at c4equipmentrental.com.
Today's news brought to you by Kubota of Joplin.
Well, of course, we've been tracking severe thunderstorms dropping through the region and over the past couple hours, and these are going to continue as we go through the evening hours. We have a really good risk for severe weather. Level 3 out of 5. Now, the main threat here is now until about 10 p.m. Very, very strong wind, so we're elevating that. Heavy amounts of rain. Not much of a tornado threat, but anytime you have severe weather, you always at least have a low threat. Look at all these warnings. This is crazy. Vernon, Barton, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee, Ottawa, Craig, Labette, Neosho, Wilson, Montgomery, Nowata, Washington counties, and then Chautauqua into southern parts of Elk County. Severe thunderstorm watch north of I-44 until 7, and then south of I-44 until midnight. So we'll see how those kind of start to fall off as this line continues to push through. All right, you can see the bow echo. So this is bowing out, so kind of like a bow and arrow. And with this bow, that's where you see the most intense winds. And we've had a lot of power lines down, tree limbs down, especially back towards Chanute, and this is going to continue to do damage as it pushes off toward the east-southeast. In fact, the winds are so strong, it's equivalent to a weak tornado, just straight line winds. Anything over 60 miles per hour is a severe thunderstorm. We're getting 70 to 80 out of this line. So let's go ahead and take a tour. We're going to go into Fort Scott. You can see the very intense bow echo, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, all the red in the western half of Bourbon County. Already warnings out, the western half of Vernon County. Let's go a little bit farther south. Very intense rain, wind in Girard. Pittsburgh, you are now getting the front of the gust front, so you are going to be getting winds 70 upwards to 80 miles per hour starting now over the next 20 minutes. Columbus, Oswego, right on the doorstep. The Joplin Metro, so we'll say Galena, Baxter, through Joplin up to Carthage, Webb City, Oronogo. You guys still have about 30 minutes before this gets in, 30, maybe 40 minutes, but also you should expect winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. I think the strongest winds are going to go right through Barton County, will affect Lamar, also Jasper. So this is a pretty intense storm. Let's track a little bit farther toward the south. Already warnings northern parts of Ottawa County. The winds on this segment are about 60, sometimes 65 miles per hour, but always can do damage as it pushes into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. So this is something we're going to be continuing to track. You can see 7, 8 p.m. right along the I-44 corridor. Neosho, Anderson, Pineville, Cassville, you guys all get into the action 7 to 8 p.m. Here's the good news. Everybody's going to get rain. We don't want the severe weather, but all this is going to be out of the region by about 10 p.m. tonight, and then things look quite a bit better as we go into the morning hours for us tomorrow. Also pretty good amounts of rain. I think a lot of us are going to pick up half an inch to an inch, inch and a half of rain, and then things will start to calm down just a little bit. I'm going to jump forward for you here real quickly. Quick check at your weekend. Some morning storms tomorrow starting to heat up. High temp of 90, 95 as we go into Sunday. We could get an isolated thunderstorm late Sunday. Here's your 7-day, 90 tomorrow, 95 Sunday. Look at the heat, 98 Monday, 102 on Tuesday, 101 on Wednesday. Hit and miss storms. Of course, severe weather lasts for the next 3 or 4 hours. Chloe and I will keep you updated.
And with wind speeds like that, it's near certainty that more people are going to be losing at least limbs and maybe trees, maybe roofs.
Pretty intense.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Missouri Southern Volleyball announces newcomers for the 2023 season, and a Crowder Community College softball pitcher is transferring to Pitt State. Brock Baldridge is going to share.
All right, guys, let me go back a few graphics. You can see the storms to our northwest from 7th and Range Line in Joplin. So storms are moving in. And go back to the radar here. Now I'm going to look at the latest updates of what is going on. Let's see here. All right, super intense line now getting into Fort Scott. Pittsburgh, you guys are about ready to get pummeled. It's moving right into Pittsburgh right now. And of course, we're still streaming. Arma's going to get hit pretty good. Frontenac's going to get hit pretty good. No electricity in Moran. High winds stopped. Let's see. I'm reading through some of your comments. Yeah, Gerard, you're getting hit now. Loaded Hot said temps have dropped 20 degrees. I bet they have. Let's see here. Joplin, yes, you guys will get hit. We're still about 45 minutes out or so, but I do expect warnings in Joplin. Pittsburgh starting to get pretty intense winds. All right. Guys, I know some people are asking about the sirens. So some cities, some towns, they do fire sirens for above 70 miles per hour, but it's up to that town itself. And I don't have all those memorized in my head. But if you do hear sirens, it's for straight line winds. About ready to start sports, so I got to shut up for a minute, but I'll talk when I can. Hey, Chloe, will you run up to the director and tell him we need to go generator?
Yeah.
Sticking with the sport of softball, the Pittsburgh State softball program announced they have signed a pitcher out of Crowder Community College. A familiar face originally comes from Seneca, Missouri, as she is set to join the team in the 2024 season. Chelsea Bevel led the Rough Riders with a 1.74 ERA last season. She also led Crowder with 230 total strikeouts and 9.7 strikeouts per inning. Sophomore pitcher came to Crowder College as the two-time first-team All-Region pitcher out of Seneca High School. Here's what Bevel had to say about her decision to sign with Pittsburgh State.
37.
All right, guys, we're in the middle of sports right now, but still you can see this very intense bow echo now pushing into Fort Scott. Pittsburgh is getting hit pretty good at this point in time. Winds are now picking up 60 plus miles an hour. These will push into southwestern Missouri as we go through the evening. Of course, I'm going to give you more details here in a second.
Missouri Southern Lions volleyball team opens up their season on August 25th. Earlier this morning, the team announced 5 newcomers, actually to make that 6 now, joining the team this fall. Well, MSSU softball coach Kelly Mather has Meanwhile, Nevada, on the other hand, is coming off a tough loss, and they look to turn it around tonight. The Outlaws hosting Mink League South Division rival Sedalia. We'll see if they'll continue to play the game with all the storms going on. Joplin is 4-2 against the Bombers this season. It's the last Friday night home game of the regular season for the Outlaws. First pitch is scheduled at the moment between Joplin and Sedalia at 7 p.m. We'll have full house tonight game right here tonight at 10. Meanwhile, Nevada Griffins host the Clarinda A's this evening. Big game for Nevada to keep their pace in the Mink League South standings. Nevada has been on a little bit of a skid recently, losing 4 of the last 5 games. At the moment, first pitch is scheduled at 7 p.m. We'll see if they'll are able to finish both those games. We'll try to get a final score from you from both games tonight at 10. That's a look for your sports. We'll be right back with more news after this.
All right, guys, so very intense bow echo. Again, tornado threat is very low. It's not non-existent, but the tornado threat is very low. This is a straight line. Okay, so how much time are we going to have? Okay. This is a straight line wind event, but we are getting winds in that 60 upwards to 75 mile per hour range. So that is taking out a lot of power. That is taking out trees, a lot of trees down. And of course, some people got a lot of trees down from 2 mornings ago when we had the severe weather. Pittsburgh, you guys are right on the front edge, getting hammered right now. This is still about 30 minutes away from the Joplin Metro, but it will continue to push right into southwestern Missouri. Everybody's going to get storms tonight. Now, once that intense line passes through, then it's just good old showers and thunderstorms across the region. I'm going to switch this over to the broadcast side for just a moment once we finish the news here, and then I'll be back over here. So hang tight with me. How far out are we down?
Time, guys. A minute out, it took about 45 seconds when we come back.
Okay, and we're coming out straight to me?
Coming out, well.
Or straight to us?
Shot, yeah.
Probably going to have to drop Final Sports. Is that okay, Brock?
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, I was only going to mention the Royals are postponed tonight.
Yeah, they got really intense storms in Kansas City a couple hours ago. I'll be over there. Cool.
From 1943 to 1946, the Joplin, Missouri native developed chemicals to treat uniforms against mustard gas. We're proud to salute Edward Broglio, a 4-state hero.
If you haven't yet experienced intense winds, hang on because it's coming.
Yeah, we are getting winds gusting across Bourbon and also Crawford County, 70 to 80 miles per hour. These are pushing into Vernon, also Barton County. Now on the south side of this line, Cherokee County, Craig County, Nowata, Washington County, winds are in that 60 to 65 mile per hour range. Anything over 60 is going to take down trees and also power lines. So this is moving into the metro over the next 30 minutes. We'll keep you guys advised.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOIM News at 10. In the meantime, please do be careful out there and let's make it a great evening.
Closed captioning on KOIM.
All right, so what's the ID situation? Let me look back through some of these comments, guys. Clint, I'm not really looking for anything torn out.
4 IDs. Why don't we do 1 sports, 1 news, and a couple of weather?
We can't rule out any tornadoes, but the chances are pretty low. I'm reading through some of your guys' comments. We are going to be taping some little IDs here too, so it'll be a little choppy over the next 5 minutes. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning. All of Vernon County, Barton County, through the entire metro, all of Jasper County, northern parts of Newton County. Severe thunderstorm warning for winds pushing 70 miles per hour into the metro. 60 to 70.
Former Crowder softball pitcher signed with Pittsburgh State. We'll tell you who tonight at 10.
We are getting some reports of 1-inch hail, but so the new warning in the metro, this is all for 70 mile per hour winds that, well, I might as well do them now.
They all do me, assuming.
Am I doing 2 IDs?
Yeah.
Okay. Severe thunderstorms continue to roll through during the evening hours, latest at 10. Let's see here. We'll do, okay. I know what I'm going to say.
We're going to have to do the first part of the 9:30 update.
Okay. How do you guys start that out? Okay.
3, 2.
Severe thunderstorms for us tonight, but what about your weekend forecast at 10?
So this started tonight at 10.
Okay.
I think you'll get probably 7 seconds.
Okay.
The clock on that one, guys.
I know you guys streaming can still hear me. We're doing our IDs real quick, and then I'll get back to the latest weather, severe weather.
Okay. So you're going to put a 5-second countdown. You want him to go 7 now? Is that what you said? Oh, I got you. So it's at 12 now. They're going to count down.
Okay, that works.
It's 7. Come on. Oh, okay. But you can just count it down.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tonight on KOAM News at 10, of course, we've been tracking severe weather. Behind this line, what does the weekend look like? Cool. And then what do you have?
I've got 9:30 and 9:30 update.
Someone said, why'd you make it rain, Doug?
Yeah, everybody begs for rain until it rains.
Yeah, I'm ready. An update on a tax dispute between the city of Neosho and Newton County tonight. Let me know when you're adjusting. Okay.
I'll be back in a second, guys.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and report this first. I'll go to setup. Just let me know when you're. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Plus, the city of Neosho says Newton County is still not paying the city the money it owes from a TIF sales tax. And an upcoming documentary project chronicles the infamous bloody vendor murder spree in southeast Kansas. Join us at 10.
Whoa,
Doug, we need to have you redo your 9:30 update for us.
you're kidding me. Why? Did they not get it?
The ingest wasn't set.
All right.
So you are adjusting? Okay, so you counted down.
All right, I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tonight on KOAM News at 10, of course, we've been tracking severe weather this evening. What about your weekend forecast?
Okay, we got it.
Cool. Man, I can tell that storm's just hit the station. You hear the, I want to check the winds real quick. I got to see what the winds are like real quick. They're booking here. Okay, so we're in central Cherokee County. The winds are at least 55, 60 here. The bow is now into western Vernon County. Again, new severe thunderstorm warnings. Jasper County, northern parts of Newton County as this pushes into the metro. Okay. All right, guys, again, tornado threat is fairly low. There always is at least a minimal threat with severe weather. This is mainly a high wind event that we are seeing. So now this most intense part of these storms, again, we're getting winds in the strongest parts of the storm, we're getting winds kind of clocking in that 60 upwards to 70 mile per hour range. In fact, I'm going to change up the radar here a little bit. We're going to look here and see where the strongest winds are. So you can see where that, really where that gust front is. So it's really from Liberal all the way down just north of Galena, Baxter Springs, and then cuts all the way back into northern parts of Oklahoma. So that's where that gust front is at this point in time. But rotation-wise, I'm not seeing really anything that is picking up on that. So I'm not really concerned about that. This is mainly a straight line event, but we can't rule out every now and then we get quick little spin-ups with these bow echoes. So we call it a bow echo because it looks like a bow and arrow. So you can see it kind of pushing out. And this is going to get into the metro here in the next 20 minutes. Pretty intense, just north of Miami, all the way down toward Nowata. So you can really just kind of march it out. So this is going to affect everybody. So a little over an hour away from Stockton, Mount Vernon, we're probably looking at about closer to 8 o'clock. Monette closer to 8. Table Rock Lake 8, 8:30. Beaver Lake kind of 8, 8:30. Grand Lake right around 7:45, 8 o'clock. And of course this is pushing into the Joplin metro right now. Very intense rain in Pittsburgh. With the history of these storms, we've had a lot of trees down, some power lines down as well. So, and that's back across southeastern Kansas. So that's one aspect that we are keeping our eyes on. Let me get through some of these comments here. Let's see. I kind of like to see what you guys put. Dane, well, let's see. There is some power outages in Fort Scott. What's up, guys? Oh. Hopefully, I think the severe line will be out by 9, but we're still going to be getting showers and thunderstorms. So.
I'm also tracking power outage reports.
So.
We can do a minute first weathers and then at 9, maybe like 3:15.
Yeah, we usually do 3, so yeah, 3:15. Man, it's getting dark in Joplin, Cherokee. Cool, cool. Let's see here. I have a talk in Kansas City in the morning, very early in the morning, so I was planning on doing the 5 and 6, shooting out of here after the 6, but I'm sticking around until this is through, and then Chloe's going to do the 9 and the 10 o'clock news. Okay, let's see here. Just kind of reading through some of these, just seeing what you guys are seeing, and then we'll get back and do another little tour of what is going on. Let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of limbs down in Crawford County. I keep seeing storm reports that are coming through, so there are a lot of areas that are getting a lot of tree lines down. What's up, Brock?
You see outside?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, I went outside and looked just a second ago. It was pretty intense out there.
Chloe, remember I told you when I came back from Houston? It looks exactly like that, but with more rain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I kind of want to go look.
Yeah, it's pretty windy out there. We're getting winds right around 60 here at the station. Okay, let's go ahead and take a tour of the most intense part of the storm. So we're looking at 54 Highway, Fort Scott over toward Nevada. So Nevada, the I-49 corridor, you guys are still about 15 minutes away. This whole bow echo is pushing east, southeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So it's really pretty intense. All right, let's track a little bit farther south. Here's Barton County. So this is Lamar. Liberals getting into the action. Pittsburgh, the heaviest of the rain is now to your east. Golden City, you still have about 45 minutes, but it's booking toward you, 30 to 45 minutes. Jasper, you're in that 15 to 20 minute range. Carl Junction, so if we zoom kind of in, Asbury's getting into the intense rain at this time. Carl Junction, Webb City, Oronogo, things are, Carl Junction, you're getting into it right now. And so we can look down like Central City Road to the west side of Joplin over toward Galena. This is right on Galena's doorstep, Riverton pushing in. So we're looking at 66 or 7th Street, whatever you want to call it, and then down to Baxter. So Baxter is getting into it. Let's go farther south. Quapaw, things are picking up. High Winds Casino just to your north. This is just west of Downstream Casino, so just north of the I-44 corridor. Commerce, Miami, you guys are starting to get into it, especially up toward Quapaw and Commerce. Miami, you're still quiet, but this is pushing off toward the south into the east. I don't know who that is. These continue back through Craig County, Nowata County, so very intense storms continue to push through. Okay, let me see here. Check one thing out. Okay. All right, so let me read through a few comments here. Yeah, we're getting all confirmed winds of 60 to 70 from Pittsburgh all the way down through Cherokee County. So this is moving into the west side of the metro at this time. So we're really from Joplin north all the way up to Nevada, Sheldon, Nevada area. We're getting winds of 60 to 70 in that mark. All right. And you got to remember, so in this bow echo, it's not like 60 to 70 mile per hour winds along that whole line. We're getting chunks of 60 here, or chunks of 70 here, or chunks of 60 here, but it may be 40 here. So it's not a whole line of 60 to 70. It's chunks in there, but where we are getting those 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, we are getting power outages and a lot of trees down. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning. This is now for Ottawa County, northern Delaware County, so just north of Grand Lake, just north of Grove, back toward Veneta, Nowata. This southern sector of the storm that is moving into northeastern Oklahoma, we're mainly getting winds right around 60. But the stronger winds start picking up once you get to Joplin up toward Nevada. That's where we are getting the winds in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. Terry, this is not a derecho. This is what we call an MCS with a bow echo in it. So an MCS is a mesoscale convective system, or I like to just say a big complex of storms. A derecho would be a bigger version of this that extends across like a quarter of the country, which we see every now and then, but not too often. I think our last big derecho was May 8th of 2009, which when the Joplin Airport clocked winds at 100 miles per hour, which is kind of crazy. Let's see here. I'm reading through storm reports as I'm doing this live streaming stuff. Okay, so I'm still getting all reports of 60 to 70. Now we do have a lot of reports of tree limbs down and power outages all across southeastern parts of Kansas. The most intense part of this storm now is passing east of Fort Scott. Nevada, it's right about to move in. Liberal's getting very intense. Heavy rains and wind all the way down. It starts to weaken a little bit once it gets down toward Carl Junction, but we're still getting winds at 60. Picks up just to the west of Baxter Springs. Moving into Galena right now, downstream. Let's see, let me look at the tower cam at 7th. And in fact, I'm going to crank my tower cam around. I want to see what it looks like here. So I'm going to go west. Here, I'll switch this for you real quick so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's definitely raining. Yeah, that's what I wanted to look at the tower cam here. Watch this thing drive in. Pretty cool clouds. Ooh, there's some lightning. Sweet. Camera's moving, shaking a lot. So we're already getting winds. Yeah, we're getting winds in the 30 to 40 gust range already in Joplin. Kind of cool, kind of cool. All right, let's get back to the radar. Let's get back to touring this. Again, all this is going to move east-southeast. So still areas I have to deal with this. Of course, Nevada, Lamar, Carthage, Joplin, but eventually we'll get to Greenfield, Golden City, Mount Vernon, Stockton, Monette, Neosho, Pineville, Cassville, Table Rock Lake, Beaver Lake, and eventually Grand Lake. Let's see, let me check out. That's a pretty impressive bow echo. Pushing right through, so right along and north of the I-44 corridor at this time. Let's see here. Let me read some of the newest stuff here. Let's see. Let me post one little update on my Facebook real quick. So I'm like massively multitasking. Storms into Metro with. Cool. I'm going to check out one or two more things, and I'll get to some of your guys' comments here. I just kind of do a rotation a little bit. We look at the radar, I look at the latest storm reports, and then I look at some of your guys' comments. Okay. Tim said winds are picking up, 32nd and Black Cat. Yeah, I can see the winds are starting to pick up in Joplin. I can see the tower cam is starting to shake just a little bit. So everybody's kind of talking about the winds picking up, windy, rainy, stormy, west side of Joplin. Seneca, you're right in line with this too. This is going to push in as well. Winds kind of in 60 to 70. Wayne, I don't do Facebook Lives anymore because there's no reason to. The station doesn't make money off Facebook. We make money off YouTube, so that's why we do YouTube. But I always link that I'm streaming on Facebook because I know we used to stream on Facebook. Let's see here. A lot of people talking about tree limbs down and even some power outages. So that's kind of what has been going on. Let me look at the latest mesoscale. Okay, I'm reading little updates here. All right, let's see what's going on. So the strongest storms now pushing in southwestern Missouri. The segment in southwestern Missouri is the line that is producing winds 60 to 70. So you can still see the warnings. We're looking Vernon, Barton, Jasper, Newton County, Cherokee, Ottawa, Delaware, Craig, Nowata, Washington. New ones out now, all of Newton County, and also McDonald County. So the whole western side of southwest Missouri is now under severe thunderstorm warnings for winds in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. Look at this bow accelerating southeastward. The good news here is here in about an hour and a half, all the severe weather is going to be out of the region. Then we're just going to have showers and thunderstorms. But look at this line just accelerating off toward the south and to the east. Pretty impressive. So over the past hour, you can see the movement kind of picking up and sagging southeast. It was just moving east a little bit earlier. All right, so strongest of the storms, we're looking at Vernon County. So we're going to take a tour moving out of Fort Scott, Nevada. We're right along I-49 now, Nevada to Sheldon. Very intense storms continue liberal to Lamar. And again, on the front edge of this, not a whole line, but we're getting segments of winds that are pushing 60 to 70 miles per hour. Looking at the Tarancam and Joplin, rain is really picking up, 7th and range line. It was coming down in buckets here at the station. All right, let's go a little bit farther south. So moving into Jasper, right along I-49, Carthage, this is about to push in. Oronogo, Webb City is getting pretty well hammered, still very heavy rain back toward Carl Junction. Let's go into Joplin proper. It's really pushing into Missouri Southern, downtown Joplin. Rain is really starting to pick up. Winds are really increasing. And then back toward Galena, Riverton, Baxter, very intense rain from Baxter, really down toward Loma Linda, downstream Casino, very intense rain. So we've got all kinds of nastiness, saltiness going on southwestern Missouri. Now, once we get into northeastern Oklahoma, so this whole back line is going to sag south. So it's not getting quite the intense winds that we're seeing on the Missouri side, but in northeastern Oklahoma, we're still getting winds gusting 55 to 65, which is just enough to warrant those severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me look at one of my favorite new models here. I just want to see how it's doing, how it's initializing. Okay. And this whole line is going to continue to sag southeast right through the region as we go through the next 2 hours. And then our severe threat will be done. Then we can get on to our weekend and enjoy things. Let's see. Looking at a few storm reports here. All right, let's look at, I'm going to go through some of your comments. Jordan says no power near Cunningham Park, west side of Joplin. Ozarks says we got good old sideways rain in Oronogo. Wind starting to pick up in Carthage, Emily. Tree down in Quapaw. It's a trash mover, Gary said, in Oronogo, which I did leave my trash can out. In fact, I think it's laying in the ditch. I never picked it up after trash day. It may be there, it may not. I need a new one anyways. Let's see. A lot of people just saying the wind is crazy in Joplin. Katie thinks the winds are around 40-ish in Galena. So you get these gusts, so it's 40 and then it'll jump up to 60, 65 and then back down to 40. So it's not a consistent 60 to 70, it's those gusts that we get. Let's see. Clint, I don't know if we are the only one with storm coverage on YouTube. I don't know if the other stations do it or not. Mo, we are seeing with these storms, these are putting down a half an inch to an inch, some areas 1.5 inches of rain. Misty, not really a tornado threat. I mean, it's very, very low. Sometimes we get little spin up tornadoes. We just don't have much in the way of shear with these. So sometimes we get what we call them QLCS, little tiny spin ups along bow echoes, and we just don't have the ingredients to really get those. The chances are probably 1 or 2%. But this is mainly straight line winds and very heavy amounts of rain. Cole says a lot of sideways rain in Carl Junction. Let's see here. Power going in and out in Carterville. So yeah, everybody's getting into the action. All right, so let's go back through southeastern Kansas. So behind this line, so Fort Scott, Girard, Pittsburgh, Oswego, Parsons, Erie, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Independence. You guys still have good old moderate rain, but the severe threat is done. So that is good, even though you may still be under a watch. But the severe threat is with this line that is sagging south and east across the region. So let's look at Nevada, Sheldon to Lamar. Again, Stockton Lake. This is only about 30 to 45 minutes away. Lamar really getting into the action now. So I-49, if you're going up north or south of I-49, you guys are really starting to get hammered. Carthage about ready to pick up. Webb City, all of Joplin. Let's see, Joplin's getting a pretty intense rain. Let's take a look here. Let's look out there. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Pretty intense rain, sideways rain. I can tell by how the drops are coming in. A lot of lightning. Good old severe thunderstorm. How's it going over there, Chloe?
Going good. Someone just asked if this qualifies as a derecho, so I'm just seeing how.
No, it's not quite big enough.
Yeah.
So derecho, and those go across like a quarter of the country. This is just an MCS with a bow echo.
Is this where it is? No, because that one's showing like.
Yeah, you got to really zoom in to do those.
Okay. Because it got me curious to see how wide this thing is.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go back here. And if you guys have any limbs down or any power outages, make sure you let me know. Because we like to know that stuff. Let's see here. Very heavy amounts of rain. Everybody's getting rain. We all need it. So this is great to get this rain. We don't want any tree limbs down, but man, we definitely need the rain. Let's see, Willow, you still have a whole bunch of the storm left in Webb City, but the strongest part of the storm is on the south side of Joplin. Jeremy, yeah, Oronoco's kind of in a little, which I'm fine with because that's where I live. I mean, heavy rain, but a little weaker part of the storm, and also Joplin proper's in a little weaker part of the storm. It's pretty intense once you get really from Mercy Hospital down to Loma Linda. Let's see, look down here, just north of Seneca, Racine, moving into that area of northwestern Newton County. And that where you see these purples, this real dark red and purple, that is really pretty intense. But where the lighter reds are, it's not quite as intense. Let's look at the winds here. Let me see how they are being affected. All right, so here's where you can see really the front of this green line is where the winds start gusting. So you can see that pushing east now. So if you haven't got into this green yet, your winds really haven't picked up. So here's Golden City, so you guys are about ready to get the winds starting to really pick up. Look at the lightning right there. southwest side of Joplin over toward Baxter. That's pretty impressive. And that is with that intense part of the cell. Let's turn that off. Let's see here. Let's go turn that off, turn that off. I'll leave that on. Let's see what kind of hail we're getting. So we do have some hail. That part of the storm, so low Melinda. So we are getting some hail back here, and it's not huge, but it's hail. Let's see how big it is. Penny-sized hail, maybe a little bit bigger in spots, but we are getting a little bit of hail, but again, this is mainly a wind maker. I love being able to play around with this radar. Let's see here, let me put on, let's see how much rain we're getting. Zoom out here. Past 6 hours. This is dropping pretty good amounts of rain, so most areas are getting half an inch, upwards to an inch. That's good. That's good news. At least we're getting some pretty good rain. Okay, look at this bow, man. You can really see it bowing out now. So it's accelerating into southwestern Missouri. Let me look back at some of the latest storm reports, all that wonderful jazz. Come on. There you go. Okay, let's see here. Let me look through a few comments, then we'll tour it again. Tour. Haley said the power went out in Webb City for about a minute. South side of Joplin, huge limb down, knocked out power. Tree over the road, Joseph says. Guy Duncan said, by Freeman Hospital, large gust, 50 to 60, plenty of lightning. Lots of limbs down. South of Carl Junction, says Missy. Let's see. Let's see, Neosho, this is still kind of just northwest of you, so give it a little bit of time here, and things will start to work in. All right, so at least we're getting the rain. We don't need power out. We don't need tree limbs down, obviously. All right, so let me put this on for you. Let's see what I got this tracking at. I'm gonna have to change this up. So we're looking at distance speed, 55 miles per hour. So I'm gonna take that off here. See how well I can draw this. All right, you can see how fast this thing is going to accelerate eastward. So Golden City here, shortly, Sarcoxy about 710, Stockton 723, Mount Vernon 725, Aurora, Republic, Battlefield, all the Springfield, the west side of the Springfield Metro pushing 8 o'clock. Now let's go a little bit farther south on this guy. This section of the bow is also moving pretty quick. So I go from about a Villa down toward Neosho. So you can see Neosho shortly, Crowder College, Pierce City about 720, Monette 724, Aurora about 730, and then of course Cassville at about 745. Now, The southern part of the storm is sinking south, but quite a bit slower. Let me go back here. Not quite a bit slower, a little bit slower. So let's go from the southern segment here. Whoa, come back. Okay, so moving into Bonita, Grope about 717, Pineville about 725, Jay about 735, and then gets into northwest Arkansas here, pushing closer to 8 o'clock. So really, I think our area, our severe threat is mainly going to be done by 8:30, which is pretty good news. New severe thunderstorm warnings out now. Let me go back here so I can see them without the radar. So still Vernon, Barton, Jasper, Newton, McDonald. Now we have Dade, or Lawrence County, Dade County, Cedar County, and a bit of St. Clair County. And then still Ottawa County, Craig County, Nowata County, and Washington County in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Look at this bow just accelerating off toward the south and to the east. Most of the winds have, we've had portions of this bow that have been producing winds 60 to 70, which has been taking down some tree lines, or tree limbs, and some power lines across the area. But at least our tornado threat is pretty low. All right, let's see here. We are getting confirmed winds near 70 in parts of this bow. So, I mean, it is really moving, and that's why we are getting all those power outages and tree limbs down. A lot of people on here, on your comments, I'm seeing a lot of people are talking about tree limbs down. Let's see, King Tony TV, I hope you aren't serious on your dog. Let's see here, power out. Oh, still have power, 20th and range line. Let me scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Winds, Patricia says winds are picking up in Neosho. Asher said he was hit by the thunderstorm pretty early, which is pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and take a tour once again, but you can see this line is just accelerating off toward the south and to the east. It's just me and Chloe in the Weather Center tonight, so we're knocking things out. All right, now with those new severe thunderstorm warnings, this does include El Dorado Springs, Jericho Springs over toward Stockton. Let's track a little bit farther south. This also includes Greenfield, Golden City, Miller, Mount Vernon, and really just kind of clipping Monette. But again, we're still getting confirmed winds of 60 to 70 within this line. Nevada, yeah, you guys have been right on the northern half, or right on the northern part of this bow, so your winds probably weren't too terribly bad. Most intense part of the storm now from Nevada along I-49 south, kind of bowing out a little bow structure here in eastern parts of Barton County. I'll check that thing out real quick. Let's see. But not seeing any rotation on those, so that is good news. Just very intense winds. Okay, so all the way down to Golden City, Lamar, south of Lamar, you can see a very intense part of the storm on I-49 just south of Lamar. Extends down to Jasper. Northeast side of Carthage, pretty intense. Moving into Avila at this point in time. Very heavy rain in Carthage. Starting to taper off now, Oronogo, Webb City, Carl Junction, Carterville. You guys are kind of on the back half. Joplin kind of split the heaviest rain, still got very intense rain. And then once you got to the south side of the city, that's where a very intense part of the cell went from downstream, Loma, Linda, Mercy. You can see Tipton Ford, Diamond, very intense segment. And this is where we're getting a little bit of a hail core, penny size upwards to 1 inch size hail. This is now pushing into Neosho, picking up near Crowder College. We can go a little farther south, just north of Anderson. So we got a lot of people who are at the lake. Of course, it's Friday, so we got campers down near the Elk River and all. This is going to be sinking in over the next 45 minutes. Stockton Lake, of course, Tabor Rock, Beaver Lake, Grand Lake, you all are going to get this over the next hour. So kind of buckle down. as even the weaker parts of the storm are still pushing winds kind of 50 upward to 60. Let's see here. Scroll up a little bit. Everybody's talking about the temperature drop. Yeah, I mean, you get these strong gust fronts and it really drops off, and it felt gross outside earlier today. Okay. Now that these are pushing through, I'm going to do one cut in for prime time here. So, I'm going to go get that set up real quick. Hey, Courtney. I don't want to bust in on prime time too much, but I am going to do. Yeah. Where's he at? Chloe, will you run back there for me? Yeah. So I can keep this going. On severe thunderstorm mornings, I try not to do cut-ins unless we get winds over 70, but because they're pushing that 70 mark, I'm going to do one little cut-in, but during prime time, I don't like to cut in on Fox and KOAM because it makes people mad, especially like during March Madness or something like that. All right, so let's look at this intense line all the way back to Nowata, Bonita, Miami, Neosho, all very intense storms. Now, Kansas, you guys are looking better. You still have showers and thunderstorms. You can still see the lightning bolts going on, but just mainly moderate rain continues to push through. Okay, let me switch this over. What, just a standby queue?
Yeah.
I'll just start talking when I pop up.
Okay.
So, hey, Dylan, can you, he can't hear me. All right, guys, so I'm going to do a quick cut-in, TV-wise. Again, I try not to do any in prime time unless we get winds over 70 or tornado warning, but now that we're pushing 70 again, we're going to go ahead and do one. But you guys will hang on with me. I got to wait for my director to get ready. But new severe, well, yeah, we still have the newer severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're looking, oh, no, I don't want to move that. I'm not going to touch that. Okay, let's see here. We good? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't read your face. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I can't even see if that's a thumbs up. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, just pop me up at the wall and I'll start talking. I'm fine. I'm ready to go whenever. If you guys are still streaming with me, I turned it to the wall. You'll get a picture here shortly. Hang on. Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Hetty wanted to give you a severe weather update. We've been streaming on the KOAM YouTube. I try not to break in, especially during prime time, unless we get winds 70 or above, and these are picking up. This line in southwestern Missouri, we're getting consistent winds at 70 miles per hour, or consistent gusts. So I wanted to let everybody know about that, but it's been very intense all the way back through northeastern parts of Oklahoma, but still severe thunderstorm warnings, Vernon, Barton, Jasper, Newton, all the way down through McDonald County, and then again from Lawrence, Dade, and also Cedar County. And this is the segment where we are getting winds pretty consistently at 70 miles per hour. Now, once we track back a little bit farther southwest, so Miami, northeastern Oklahoma, Craig County, Nowata County, those winds are a little bit less, still intense, 55 to 65 miles per hour. This line's going to continue to sink south and east. I think everybody will be clear of a severe threat after about 8:30 this evening. It will push down toward Table Rock. Behind it, we got showers and thunderstorms, but nothing severe. So the main threat here is high winds. We're not really seeing a tornado threat. We are getting a little bit of hail in spots, but this is mainly just a high wind maker. But anytime the winds push 70 with severe thunderstorms, I like to just let you guys know what is going on. But if you want to jump on the KOAM YouTube stream, we're doing that live throughout the evening. All right, guys, back to programming. Yeah, I mean, I try to do lesser cut-ins, unless if it's tornado, of course, because so many, majority of people stream.
Yeah, that's true. It is becoming more of a thing.
Righty. I can't believe I forgot my belt today. Drives me insane. All right, back with you. Let's look through some comments here. Well, first off, let me look at storm reports. That's fair.
Can I switch this one to my show?
Sure. I'm going to start building it.
Yeah, just a little bit. We're also getting some good pictures in that I want to set up.
Let's see. Man, this bow is just bucking. Look at the past hour. I'm going to loop this. Look how fast it's moving. So it's moving 55 to 60 miles per hour. It's almost into Berry County. All right, so southeast Kansas, we still have showers. We still have thunderstorms, a lot of lightning, some moderate rain, but severe threat is done. Missouri side, we're getting a lot of winds gusting 70 in this segment from Nevada. Nevada, you're kind of on the weaker side on this front edge. So right east of Lamar near Golden City, very soon affecting Greenfield, and then just outside of Mount Vernon, and then you can see very intense once you get down through Newton County, very intense rain, now pushing into northern parts of McDonald County. Most of Joplin, things have let up. Joplin at least didn't get the heaviest rain, but got some good rains. Carl Junction, Webb City, Oronogo, Galena, Baxter, downstream all calming down. Carthage is calming down. Still pretty intense. Southeast side of the metro, Diamond, is still getting some very intense rain and most likely a little bit of hail within that core. All right, let's look back into Ottawa County, Miami to Fairland to Afton. Pretty strong. We're getting winds 55 to 60, and this is sinking into Grand Lake now. So if you're down there camping or in a trailer, most winds are going to be pushing kind of in that 55 to 60, but pretty intense, kind of on the lower grade of severe, while the ones in southwest Missouri are a little bit higher grade of severe. But this whole entire line continues to sink southeast. In fact, just 30 minutes ago, it was just pushing into Joplin. You can see how fast it's accelerating south and east. So by looking at this bow, the areas that are going to have the most intense winds are probably going to be from about Greenfield all the way down through Table Rock Lake and Branson, maybe even parts of Springfield, but just south of really Lawrence and Berry County, parts of McDonald County, that's where it looks like the most intense winds are going to go, where we're still going to have those winds at 60 to 70 miles per hour. Okay, let's go back here. Let me look through some of your comments. Let's see here. Tina Carthage is looking much better. The more intense is now pushing out. Clint, yep, things are starting to calm down in Joplin, which is good. Wayne said on the north end of Grand Lake started about 15 minutes ago. Kyler, tornado threat is very low. If there was one, which is still pretty low, it'd be a very quick little spin up. These are mainly straight line winds. CDL production says in Diamond it's pretty strong winds. We love CDL. Alicia, you know, on sirens with wind, it all depends on that town. So it's whatever they decide. Most towns, if they fire off the sirens for wind, straight line winds, it's usually 70. I haven't heard of any sirens going off because most of these winds have been in that 60 to 70 mile per hour range. But trust me, I would let you know if sirens did go off and if it was straight line winds or tornadic. All right, these intense storms now pushing into St. Clair, even parts of Cedar County, Lawrence County, Dade County, down to Berry County. Newton County has been getting very heavy rain from the eastern part of Barton County. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning out now, so this is all of Berry County, southern parts of McDonald County, northwest part of Benton County, so right into northwest Arkansas, and then all the Grand Lake area is now under a severe thunderstorm warning, so Delaware County. So that is what we're seeing at this point in time. So these are going to be severe thunderstorm warnings all the way through the entire area. Yeah, we had intense winds here. They pushed 60, which was pretty crazy. So the reason we get the bow, I've had a couple of people ask that. So I'm gonna kind of zoom in here. So our upper level winds, you know, 15, 20, 25,000 feet are pushing these storms the direction they want it to go. But when you get the upper level winds very strong and then you get the low level winds behind a cold front, it will bow or arc out this line of storms. And then because you're getting the very strong winds behind the bow, it creates that very strong gust front out ahead of it, and that's why we get those intense winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. All right, Kansas, you guys are looking pretty good. I mean, you still got showers and thunderstorms. Now you're getting drought, relief rain. Oklahoma, we still got all the severe thunderstorm warnings. This part of the line is sinking south, so really from Bartlesville, Nowata, over toward Veneta. Grand Lake getting into the action now. Things starting to calm down a little bit in Miami, Commerce, Quapaw. Fairland, Afton, still pretty intense. All right, McDonald County, you guys now starting to get into the action. So Goodman, moving into Anderson, Pineville, Southwest City, right on your doorstep. Berry County, Cassville, all the way down to Eagle Rock, Shellknob, Seligman. You guys still have 30 more minutes, but you can see it's pushing into Purdy, Monette, and then eventually over toward Aurora. Let's go a little bit farther north along the I-44 corridor. It's through Sarcoxie, now pushing in between Sarcoxie and Mount Vernon. So that's where the heaviest rain is starting to pick up, and also those intense winds. And then we can go farther north from Stotts City, Miller, Lockwood, Golden City. You're getting some pretty good storms. Lockwood, you're about ready to get into the action as well. But it looks like the strongest winds are going to kind of, with this bow, from this point on, looks like they're going to go from kind of Mount Vernon, kind of down in there, and then accelerate south and eastward. So, I mean, heading toward Table Rock Lake. So if you guys are on the lake now, get off, and then, because this thing is going to move in very, very quickly as we go through the next, hour or so. Let me erase that. All right, let me look at any updates. What are you going to show? Because the severe weather is going to be behind it.
So I'm gonna keep updating this, because
So
we still have an hour and a half.
you need to switch your radar off winter to over here. That's where you're getting the white blobs. So go to the one ahead, above it to sweeping.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yep.
Got a cool picture that I'm gonna show.
Oh, cool.
You guys have the talks to you tonight, Chloe. Are you a meteorologist?
Well, I haven't graduated yet.
Not technically.
Not technically, no.
She's a meteorologist in training.
Yeah, I usually say like student or collegiate.
Okay, know that,
It's a controversial
so I
thing.
was talking to Kate Williams, she had written across to you as meteorologist for the Royal. That's quite right.
Yeah.
And she said, well, Rick didn't want to use the term student meteorologist. So my.
Why don't we just leave that out and just say Chloe?
Yeah.
Right, that's kind of what
Yeah. Like when I was in school, and I wasn't a meteorologist yet, they used to call me a forecaster. And,
See,
but,
they don't call us forecasters until we graduate now.
okay.
Or at OU.
I just leave it off.
Yeah.
That's what I was, that's why I agree with it, then
Yeah.
Hayden Williams said that's not sure what Rich.
See, because
That's
like,
why we introduced Chris Warner, and I know you're going to be, will be the question soon enough, but for now.
I'm a 50% meteorologist. We'll call it that.
Well, you know you're a meteorologist, we start giving things percentages, so.
There you go. Thank
Cool,
you.
cool. Let's see here. All right, so this bow has accelerated. Here, I'm going to go back an hour and just kind of slowly work through it. You can see how it's taken that more southeasterly turn. So this is going to really make the most intense winds from Mount Vernon, Monette to Cassville to Pineville, and then it's going to go right into Table Rock Lake and Branson. So that's where we're going to get the winds 60 to 70. I think a little bit farther north, Stockton Lake, you're probably kind of be in that kind of 40 to 55 mile per hour range because you're on the very north side of the bow. And then the farther south you go, the winds pick up a little bit. So 50 to 60 in Mount Vernon, and then 60 to 70 Monette, Aurora, Cassville, Pineville. And then they kind of back down a bit again. So Grand Lake, you guys are getting wind, or will get winds probably in that 50 to 60, maybe a little bit higher than that. Very heavy rain. We're seeing more hail north of the Tulsa area. But Miami's starting to calm down. Most of Joplin's calming down. Glancing at the tower cam, I can even see lightning lighting up just a little bit to the west. But we still have showers. We still have thunderstorms southeastern Kansas, but all the intense thunderstorms now working into extreme southwestern Missouri back toward Grand Lake. We're not getting much hail. Not really seeing a tornado threat. This is mainly a wind threat, but these storms have had the history. We've had a lot of reports of tree limbs down, some power outages down. That mainly happens because a tree limb falls on a power line. So we have seen that, but overall, for a Bow Echo that has winds 60 to 70, and at times earlier we had winds pushing 80 out towards Chanute. So at least this is overall doing pretty well. We haven't seen too much terrible things, but there are a lot of tree limbs down. So if you have tree limbs, you may be cleaning them up this weekend. Let's see, but yeah, they're coming into Pineville. These are all severe thunderstorm watches. We don't have any tornado watches here. We do have plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's see. Let's look into northwest Arkansas. Okay, so we're not that far. Here in about the next 30 minutes, these are going to get into Benton County. So Bentonville, Rogers, down towards Springdale, Rogers and Beaver Lake. So Beaver Lake's just east of Rogers. Beaver Lake, you guys are all going to get into the action in about the next 20 to 30 minutes, so expect winds 50 to 60, of course. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, very heavy amounts of rain. The most intense part of these storms now, let's see here. So, of course, we're looking in southern parts of St. Clair County and then Cedar County, so Arcola, Golden City, and then heading, just pushing into Miller, moving into Mount Vernon at this time. Sarcoxy, you still are getting pretty heavy rains. And then it starts to lighten up a little bit where I-49 and I-44 meet. Fidelity, you know, where the crane hit the bridge, of course, and messed up traffic for a month, which was so annoying. And then the rain is getting lighter around the 249 loop, so through Dunawig all the way up into Webb City. All right, Mercy Hospital starting to clear out a little bit. Diamond, still some pretty heavy rain. And then pretty intense once you get down toward Newtonia, Stella, east of Neosho, and then picking up Purdy, northwestern parts of Berry County, Wheaton, all getting some pretty heavy rain. Let's go down into McDonald County, Goodman, Pineville, you're kind of right on the edge as this line sinks in. Anderson's getting some pretty heavy rain. And then the north side of, really the northern half of Grand Lake from Grove, really all of Grand Lake getting rain at this time. Moving into Southwest City as well. And then the intense rain continues all the way back toward Veneta and then Big Cabin. And then here in about the next, I would say 30 minutes, this will be out of our viewing area completely, which is good news because I got to get to Kansas City for a talk. What's up, Dow? It's all over. It's just kind of scattered. Yeah, I haven't seen, I mean.
We're seeing the power outages in southeast.
Yeah. And usually those are caused by tree limbs. But I haven't seen like a concentration of one area that has more tree limbs than others. It's just kind of scattered. Let's see. Still getting some thunder and lightning here. Ooh, our tower got hit.
That's a loud one.
That is always loud.
It's a boomer.
It's a boomer. It's a boomer sooner.
Start singing the whole song.
Oh, you actually know the song?
We have to learn it.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
So the first day I moved in, we had to go on a trip on this bus. They taught us word for word, all of it.
That is great. Let's see here. Joplin is past the worst of it. We're still going to have showers and thunderstorms in the Joplin metro for the next hour or so as this whole complex pushes through. But we are more concerned with the severe part, which is the front edge of the storm. But yeah, showers, thunderstorms still occurring. Pittsburgh, Columbus, Joplin, Miami, Lamar, Nevada, all the way back to Parsons, Independence, even up toward Fredonia and Fort Scott. But those are just kind of moderate showers and thunderstorms, so we're not seeing anything that is too intense at that time. Let's see here. I see Chris Warner's helping out too, jumping on, covering people. Let's see here. Yeah, Carly, I'm with you. I'm a KU grad. Those boomers, we don't like them. Clint said, Channel 9 News Tulsa's live streaming too, so Tulsa's about ready to get some pretty good storms in there. Let's see, let me go back and look at the warnings here. Oh, went back too far. All right, still severe thunderstorm warning. So southern parts of St. Clair, Cedar, Dade, Lawrence, Berry, and just a sliver of like Barton, Jasper, and Newton County. But we're going to exclude those. McDonald County, parts of Benton County through Delaware County. Those are where the main warnings are. You can see that the National Weather Service out of Wichita has cut their watch back. So southeastern Kansas not under the severe thunderstorm watch. And then Springfield National Weather Service will start chopping back the watch. They'll cut Bourbon County, Crawford County, Cherokee County, probably pretty soon in the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then they'll start slicing counties out in southwestern Missouri. So we only got about 30 more minutes before this line gets through the entire viewing area. And then we just have showers and thunderstorms for kind of on and off tonight, and then things greatly improve as we go into the weekend, which is great news. Look at this bow echo, though. That's pretty intense. Pretty cool to see. Well, if you're a storm fan. If you're not, it's not. Pretty cool to see. But this thing is just blasted through, really accelerating now, because this is looping over 3 hours. So you can see it's almost gone through the entire viewing area in 3 hours, which that is really, really moving. So let's see here. In 3 hours, it's gone from about here to there. Yeah, so average movement, I mean, it's picking up now, but average movement, like 40 to 50 miles per hour. But now it's like 50 to 55, which is kind of crazy. Let's see here. Let me check any latest warnings. Southern Berry County, where else am I? Getting very heavy rain. Oh, let's take a look at that before I say anything. We've got a weak little circulation that has developed just south of Monette, just north of Purdy. Again, I mean, we can get little tiny spin-ups, but this is not confirmed, but this is just a weak little circulation. So we're going to watch that, but that's northern parts of Berry County. And then maybe another weak little circulation trying to develop just north of Cassville. So we're going to watch those two areas for to see if those little guys strengthen, but not enough to warrant a tornado warning, just watching some rotations. But you can see how look at the hail core there is really picked up. Let's see if, let me jump ahead here. Let's see. Yep, it's got 1 inch size hail, so right where that little core is. But, so you can see, so you got a little hail core, and then a little inflow notch just south of Monette. So that's what's causing a little weak rotation, but nothing really warranted at this time. Just kind of watching it. Winds are pretty strong, Monette. So the strongest winds now are kind of pushing out of Mount Vernon down toward Cassville, and then eventually here very shortly are going to work into kind of the Beaver Lake, Table Rock Lake area. So these winds are accelerating to the south and to the east very quickly. Everybody else is looking significantly better severe threat wise, which is good. Still very intense from Stockton Lake to Greenfield. Mount Vernon now you are in the action, and then we'll watch that little spot, Monette, north of Cassville, and then it weakens a little bit in McDonald County, but still pretty intense all the way back toward Grand Lake. Now, still behind this line, you can see showers and thunderstorms, no severe threat. So Joplin, Carthage, Miami, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Parsons, no severe threat. The only severe threat is right on that leading edge of that line. But we are getting winds pushing 70 in Monette. So that's kind of, it seems to be where the very intense part of the storm system is. I did have somebody ask, I saw a comment earlier, probably 30 minutes ago. They wanted to know if you'd tried Green Goes yet. Did we discuss that?
I have not, but yes, we were talking about that. There was something that said, he said to get something that didn't have cheese on it.
They put a lot of cheese, but Green Goes is great. I love Green Goes.
I haven't tried it.
Okay.
I'll have to be back then.
Caleb, these are going to roll in Springfield in the next 45 minutes, but the strongest winds are going to stay down toward Table Rock and Branson. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm kind of reading through some of Mr. Warner's comments. Let's see here. Wheaton, no, we have, so there is a little rotation just south of Monette toward Wheaton, yes, but watching it, nothing has dropped, but definitely watching it. And we'll go back and look at that rotation here in a second. Asheville, get to Eureka Springs is going to take a pretty good hit too. Winds kind of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let me check one thing here. Not cool, man. That was a big boomer. Really big boomer. Let's see. Tower got hit again. All right, let's get in here. Let's take a look. Okay, so you can see Monette. So we're getting a little bit, see where this little brighter red spot is here? So we're still getting some mid to kind of low level rotation here, just east of Purdy. So we're kind of looking right in there. You can see that little spot right here where the winds meet and that little brighter red there. Well, you can't see it anymore because I've marked over it, but kind of right in here. So that's what rotation area that we're kind of watching just a little bit. Let me zoom out a little bit. So, so that's Purdy. Wheaton's back right on the county line, so this is east of Wheaton. But you can kind of see how the wind kind of wants to rotate. You get the wind that kind of rotates in like this. So just watching it in Berry County, but most of these are just kind of straight line wind events. So let me go ahead and zoom out. Besides that, I don't see anything that looks concerning, but that's a little interesting. So let me switch back the radar here. Okay, so we still have severe thunderstorm warnings. The eastern half of Cedar, Dade, Lawrence, Berry County, which that's northwest Berry County is where we're really watching that storm, but it is accelerating southeast. Still has severe thunderstorm warnings, northern parts of Benton County. The storm is a little bit weaker in McDonald County back toward Grand Lake, and then it strengthens again just north of Tulsa. Everybody else behind this line, here, let me draw it for you. Let me zoom out a little bit first. Okay. So from Nevada back toward Iola, all the way down to Bartlesville, to Veneta, to northern parts of Grand Lake, past Neosho, all this area is still showers and thunderstorms, but no severe threat. The only severe threat we have is in our far southeastern counties. So all severe threat will be gone here in the next 20 to 30 minutes, or at least out of our area. Let's see. Scroll up a little bit. Carly, I can't see what the clouds look like in Bella Vista, but I'm sure you have a roll cloud or a shelf cloud. We do have that rotation near Purdy, but Purdy and Berry County, but it isn't enough to warrant a tornado warning at this time. So it's a very, very weak rotation. Let me scroll through. Yeah, we are getting a lot of flash flooding. These storms are dropping some very heavy amounts of rain. So especially when you get down toward McDonald County, Eagle Rock, Roaring River, those are the areas that like to flood, so watch out for that. Let's see. Continue to go a little bit farther south. No, okay, so I've had a few people ask, is it supposed to get severe later or severe again? This is it. So it's this line. Even though there's going to be storms behind this over the next few hours, our severe threat is pretty much done. Just scattered thunderstorms. I mean, our tower's still getting hit by lightning, so I mean, it's moderate thunderstorms. Just that front edge is where the severe threat is. In fact, it's almost out of our viewing area. I just really kind of want to I want to watch Berry County. I don't want to make sure that you guys get through that part of the storm okay. But you can see the hail core, Purdy, just west of Cassville. So strongest storms now from just south of Stockton Lake, Greenfield, down to Miller, Mount Vernon. You guys are getting heavy showers and thunderstorms. Moving into Aurora right now, Monette, you guys have been getting the action for quite a while. And then that intense part of the storm just north of Purdy. So this is going to move toward, well, it's moving into Cassville now. So let's see here. So Roaring River is right here, and then you got Eagle Rock right here, and the start of Table Rock Lake, Shell Knobs over here. So this is moving almost into Roaring River, so we may get some flash flooding down there. It's very low-lying areas. All of McDonald County, showers, thunderstorms now starting to inch its way into Bella Vista, getting close over toward Rogers, and then also Beaver. You guys are going to get into it here pretty quick. Grand Lake still getting pummeled with rain. And then again, behind this is just all moderate showers and thunderstorms. You can see severe thunderstorm warning now extends farther east, Springfield to Branson. So this is almost out of our area. I just really want to see what happens here in Berry County. See if that part of the storm intensifies a little bit. Scroll back a bit. Intensified right as it moved into Berry County. So right there. But it looks to have weakened just a bit. Let's see. You guys have conversations back and forth, so I read a lot of the comments, and I don't even know what you guys are referring to. It's kind of funny. But okay, so that rotation is weakening, which is good to see. How's your show coming?
Good. Just need to finish my 10-day. Start getting stomach cramps.
I've been nauseous all day from my migraine.
Did it get any better?
The nausea's a little bit better, but it's just like never the funnest. All right, so let's see, circulation. Look at this here. Let me go back here real quick. All right, you can see that little notch just to the west of Jenkins. So that's where that little rotation is. So past Purdy. So it's kind of right in here. So it's still not enough to warrant a tornado warning, but it's accelerating southeast. You can really see that gust front. So this, again, is now pushing into Roaring River. Of course, very low-lying area. So this will cause some flash flooding. So watch out for that if you're down Roaring River, Eagle Rock, as it continues to push south and east. Again, we got strong to severe storms right through Delaware County, Grand Lake, moving into Benton County. McDonald County, you are looking better, but we still have probably the most intense cell is in Berry County, and then up through southern parts of Lawrence County, and then things start to look a little bit better. And then up into Dade, and then also Cedar County. Severe threat is over the entire Joplin Metro, Neosho, Miami, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Chanute, all the way back through southeastern Kansas. Still scattered thunderstorms, but severe threat is done. And that little circulation has weakened a little bit, so that is good as it pushes off across eastern parts of Berry County. So we made it through this one pretty good. It's Friday night. May get an isolated storm Sunday afternoon, and then we're going to get a few of these nocturnal events. Well, this isn't really nocturnal. This came in during the afternoon and evening. But a few more events as we go through next week. So that's kind of what we're going to be keeping our eyes on. But for now, I think we're good, guys. We got it through the viewing area, so